Constituency of Haltemprice and Howden can show how strongly they feel about the 42-day detention provisions and a raft of other issues by voting in the by-election triggered by David Davis's inability to stomach the way the government is eroding civil liberties. They'll not be short of choices, despite the fact that neither Labour nor the Liberal Democrats have put candidates up. There are more people standing than in any by-election in history. Some of them even have a grasp on reality. Our political editor, Michael Crick, was determined to meet them all.
You only have to look at the footwear on show in this contest to see it's far from pedestrian. Now, this has got to be the most challenging by-election I think I've ever covered. A record, an all-time record, 26 candidates. Let's just see how many we can catch up with in the course of a day. My quest didn't start too well. Hello, is anybody in? But perked up with Bus Pass Elvis.
You're a 12-foot lizard in disguise.
And his own by-election slogan.
Save oil, bonk locally. My contribution to saving the planet.
Save what?
Bonk. Save oil, bonk locally.
Bonk locally?
Bonk locally.
Have you been doing a lot of that?
Not yet. No, I've not had a chance, actually. I've been too tired most of the time.
With Labour, the Lib Dems, UKIP and the BNP all steering clear of this fight, it was soon plain their absence has only encouraged a lot more outsiders.
What I want to do is to try to establish a new party called Work for Progress in this country, which is dedicated to a much more egalitarian society.
There's too many people on a gravy train, if you don't mind me saying so, and I just think there should be more common sense. No, I'm not. No, I do not wish to join a gravy train. That's why I'm standing as an independent.
Highly taxed lawful smokers have been punished. The elderly, the working class and the underclass have been socially excluded.
There are no socialist or left-wing candidates standing. I mean, that's the position we're putting forward, and we think that ordinary working class people who used to have Labour representation have now got none.
It is great for Britain to have an elected monarchy of some kind.
Like you?
Like anyone, yourself, myself, the cameraman, people in this hotel.
This is the campaign headquarters of Walter Sweeney, who actually used to be a Conservative MP for Vale of Glamorgan.
David Davis has missed the point. He thinks he's standing for freedom. The main erosion of our freedom is caused by our membership of the European Union.
He should have resigned over a referendum on the Lisbon Treaty, which takes away far more of our civil liberties than the threat of being held for 42 days.
Done him, done her, done him, so that's what, 8? And then there's Ronnie Carroll, who refuses to do an interview because he says he wants to get a record no votes. And then there's David Icke, the former Newsnight presenter, who says he doesn't want to be interviewed because he thinks, in his words, we'll take the piss. Goodness knows where he gets that idea. The most serious threat to David Davis, perhaps, are the Greens, having come third last month in Henley.
For a change, we've got a chance to get our voice heard without the melee of the old grey parties haggling in the middle ground. And people have actually got a chance to listen, and they agree with our policies. When they hear them, they're sane, normal, sensible, intelligent policies.
But she wasn't so happy this lunchtime when David Davis held a campaign meeting with the head of Liberty and the Labour MP Bob Marshall-Andrews. And some of his rivals were excluded.
This country is supposed to be a democratic country, and you people, the old parties, are behaving in character at this meeting.
Standing for civil liberties and freedom of speech.
We don't want a police state, we want a democratic state.
Absolutely.
But despite the more farcical aspects of this contest, Mr Davis still claims it was worth quitting his seat over 42 days.
The weekend before the vote on 42 days, which was the week I announced I was standing down after losing that vote, the weekend press carried a poll, I think it was also an ICM poll, saying 69% of people supported 42 days. That was one of the things that influenced my judgment. Now it's 61% against. That's a dramatic turnaround.
One trouble, though, has been that most of Mr Davis's rivals actually agree with him on 42 days. But not all.
It makes me mad, mate. I'm sticking up for my country, and there's people openly threatening their existence. And why is David Davis sticking up for them? You know, why the Tory party sticking up for him? Why is David Cameron sticking up for him? Why are any of the Labour Party members here backing me up?
So where do you stand on this big issue of the 42 days detention?
Well, to be really honest with you, I think it's a bit trivial.
Trivial?
Yes, I do. I'm not here to debate it, but for the record, I'm very much behind it.
What, behind 42 days?
Yes, I am.
So you're against David Davis on this one?
Just on that one policy, yes.
And Jill Sayward, once the victim of a horrific rape, thinks Davis is wrong too to voice reservations about CCTV and the National DNA Database.
I'm standing because I feel it's very important to challenge what David Davis is saying. I think that CCTV and the DNA database has been very helpful and very effective, particularly with very serious and violent crimes. And so I think it's very important to make that stand.
It's pretty clear that come next week, David Davis will be back sitting in Parliament. What's less clear is whether this by-election will be remembered as one man taking a historic stand for liberty, or one man making a futile and rather expensive error of judgment.
And despite Michael Crick's heroic efforts to meet all the candidates, there were still 13 he didn't meet. Here's the list of those missing 13. You can see a full list of candidates standing in the by-election on the BBC website. Now, coming up on the programme, we meet the iconic architect Frank Gehry as he reveals his first English building. But before